Boys and girls, Ape Nation, good afternoon, guys. It is Labor Day, Monday, September 6th, 2021. And I just dropped in because I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about this protest. It seems like it's becoming a big enough of an issue that it needs to be discussed. And some of you in the comments had asked me to address it, and I said that I would. And after watching everything and trying to get a hold of the Apefather, just in the last 24 hours, I haven't heard back from him. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this opinionated piece. And remember, this is just my opinion on it. You guys have the right to think whatever you like on it. I'm just throwing in my 2 cents. And let me preface this by saying, first of all, I don't know if that photo from the thumbnail was doctored in any way, shape, or form. I'm assuming it was. I've never heard the Apefather talk about being at the Capitol on January 6th. And secondly, let me say to all the new subscribers out there and everyone who's been commenting and liking the videos and the views, guys, thank you so much for all of your support. I tried to take this last 2 days that I've had off to get back and answer the comments to everyone, like everyone. And, you know, all that feedback just keeps me motivated to keep doing these videos, even when I'm exhausted. We are going to keep the pressure on these guys until we squeeze. And that's the whole point of this channel. Until we squeeze, that is the mission. But before I get too far in to talk about the protest,
cue the speeder.
Hey, you just said that on camera. This going viral.
Guys, thank you so much for crushing it and getting me to 1,000 subscribers. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, this is the way. All right, guys, so before we dive too deep into this, I want you to pay very close attention to this clip from Jimmy Dore's show. It's from January 30th, so right after GameStop took off and started squeezing. And I just want you to get a good perspective of what these people who are going to be protesting against, what they think of us as far back as January of this year. But I'm not going to talk anymore about it. Roll the film.
Host at I don't know if you've been watching CNBC, but it is some of my favorite viewing right now. Just to watch their heads, they don't know what to do, right? It's like they got to get to the bathroom and there isn't one around and they don't know what to do. And so watch this.
We've talked, we've mentioned social media. I couldn't help but it's not obviously similar to some of this controversy surrounding Facebook and Twitter and everything else. But once again, what's one of the things that we're talking about is maybe misinformation and pump and dumps, and it's occurring on social media again. It just I'm wondering whether it's part of the same problem, the type of regulation that we finally need to consider. And like I said, we should always have a light touch with regulation, but you're seeing the way things can get started again. This is
a light touch. So he's talking about retail, and he's talking about having a light touch when it comes to regulation. Like there's been any regulation on Wall Street since 2008. Unbelievable.
This is different. Maybe it's Reddit, maybe it's not Facebook, but you're seeing the same situation. At this point, it's not about an election. It's not about an insurrection, but there are interesting things happening that seem to be spawned to some extent, or at least blown out of proportion by social media again, Adina.
Well, so I don't know if you could hear all that, Glenn, but what he compared what they're doing on Reddit with Wall Street and GameStop to the insurrection on January 6th. He's comparing people doing completely legal things and trading and using the very system Wall Street set up. They're just getting it regular. When regular people get in on it, it's the equivalent of trying to overthrow the government. And so he's advocating to shut down social media. And now let's watch the CEO of NASDAQ. I bet she doesn't push back. Let's listen.
I do think, though, that as we look at these new technologies that are there available to everyone, including investors, I think it's also important for regulators to understand that, manipulation is manipulation, whether it's happening through a new technology medium or it's happening through traditional mail. So I think it's just a matter of making sure that we understand what the behavior is, what's underpinning the behavior, and working appropriately with the regulators to manage the situation, regardless of the technology that they're using.
So there she goes. So Glenn, you heard it. She wants regulators to manage the situation because regular people figured out a way to make money on Wall Street.
You know, there's been several interviews on CNBC, and I agree totally. You should be watching CNBC only right now, never before and never again. But right now you should be, because it's a real mask dropping moment for them. Like we were talking about earlier, they really don't know what to do or say. They're really set back on their heels because these are not people who are breaking the law in order to win. They figured out their game. They studied and figured out their game, and through sheer numbers are overwhelming the system, and they're winning. And the hedge fund billionaires and short sellers are losing, and you see these people feeling like it's a violation of what's divinely ordained.
Yes.
And I think that this analogy with what happened at the Capitol is actually kind of interesting. I think part of the reason it was exaggerated was because of this idea that these are the people who are not entitled to be in the Capitol, the sacred halls of political power. It's very much the same thing about how these people are reacting now, which is, yes, it's fine when hedge fund billionaires manipulate the market and make enormous sums of money for nothing. They produce nothing of value. They just move artificial numbers around on the spreadsheet, and then they get to buy their next boat with the heliport on it. But when it's these like anonymous, dirty Reddit trolls who don't even work on Wall Street, they're just like losers buried with college debt in the middle of the country, living with their fucking parents. They're not supposed to be the ones doing this. That's when it becomes truly alarming. You can see it in their face. They're not upset by the behavior. They're upset by who's doing it.
Yes, that's exactly right. What I love about this is it brings together Russiagate now. So now Russia is being used to try to smear these Reddit people. Watch this.
What kind of case do they have? We like the stock. We like the stock. I mean, that's the case where Ryan Cohen got in. He bought 15% at $8. He's on the board. We like the stock. How is that bad? Or do you think that they're concentrated and doing some sort of manipulation if they say they like the stock?
Well, I don't know if they're concentrated because I don't have subpoena power and I can't really go out and look at it. I can argue I don't even know if there are foreign powers at work here behind the scenes trying to chaos up our markets.
So they said, I don't even know if there's foreign powers manipulating them. And then even Jim Cramer says, stop it. Even Jim Cramer had to say at that point. But you see...
And look at that guy's douchebag face like, when he got caught. Like, you know, he's not used to being told. He's like, look at that. Look at that stupid fucking face, knowing that he said something incredibly stupid that he's used to, like, having taken seriously. But this time it was mocked, and it got the mockery it deserved. Yeah,
that would... So, again, it's... if we don't like something in America, you say it's Russia, it's Putin, we got to use censorship, it's radicals,
it's hate speech, it's hate speech,
it's hate speech. So if anything can be hate speech, by the way.
All right, guys. So I'm going to cut it there. How did everyone get their channel shut down over the last 6 months? YouTube came on and said, or Twitter, or Reddit, or whoever. Said they were hate speech. Keenan Grace, Matt Kors, you name it, TMI, all had their stuff pulled down because they said it was hate speech. So these people already have an opinion of us right now. They don't like us. They hate us because we have figured out the system. And geez, you pile on top of that what we found out this week about the algorithms. And again, I'll refer you to the video I did yesterday about Astro and his live stream. Now they're really going to hate us because people are going to be able to read the algorithms if they haven't switched up anything over the holiday weekend. And supposedly, you know, Ken Griffin from Citadel is out of the country. He's supposedly on the lam. Who knows? But anyways, with this in the back of your mind, knowing how these people think about us, I think it's safe to say that, of course, we're all upset. Of course, we're all pissed that nobody's doing anything. You guys probably just as much as I am. And I know everyone has a different opinion on the Apefather. Some of you love him. Some of you hate him. No matter what your opinion is, this is not anything against the Apefather. I watch his channel. I watch some of his videos. I try to catch them when I can. I think he loves the AMC community. I think he's genuine in what he says. Now, if for some reason, now the Apefather has made a date, set a date and a time for this protest. So they know when we're going to be there and where we're going to be, date and time. That could be a problem because you could have some stupid people show up, or they could pay people. And don't say this is a conspiracy theory because it's already happened. The FBI has already gotten caught doing this, of sending in people to infiltrate the protest and turn it into something that's not supposed to be. And I don't believe in any way, shape, or form is that the intention of Richie. That's not what he's trying to do. He is legit upset, like the rest of us, and he wants to bring attention to it through the media. And by protesting out in front of the SEC, certainly that would garner media attention. But with all the variables and what could go wrong, I just think having a predetermined date and time is very risky. And let me say this. In no way, shape, or form am I telling anyone what to do. Listen, we live in the United States of America. We have the right to assemble. We have the right to protest if we want. We have freedom of speech and the right to assembly. So you do what you want to do. I am not here to tell you what to do with your life. We are not in North Korea. We are not in China or Venezuela. We have these freedoms, and they are very important. So I'm just nervous about what could take place. Now, I've emailed Richie and told him what my idea was. And like I said, I haven't heard back from him. But I think subtlety is very important right now, especially with the price action we've seen very recently. We're at the tail end probably of this squeeze. And I know everyone keeps saying that, but remember, they are losing billions. They're the ones up against the clock. And, you know, not for nothing, but I know a lot of us saw what happened last summer. BLM and Antifa took over the streets of a lot of major cities across the country. And they burned and they looted and they rioted. And they got the vice president to come out, or the soon-to-be vice president, Kamala Harris, asking for donations to bail them out of jail. And it's possible if something happened at this protest that's coming up, that he's arranging, that maybe Kamala will come to our defense. And maybe she would stand up for the apes. But then I found this article and I thought, well, maybe not. So I would not count on the VP coming to save us if something goes wrong. We don't want to come across any more confrontational than people are already saying we are. And we haven't even gotten into the streets yet. We're just using keyboards and microphones and cameras. That's it. And they're already comparing us to insurrectionists. I think when it really boils down to, bottom line, we own probably 95% of the float of AMC, retail, right? They have not covered any shares. They are losing billions of dollars, and they have people they need to answer to. A lot of that money that they're managing is not theirs. We are losing nothing. As long as we sit here and hold, it doesn't cost us a dime. We are still in the driver's seat. I don't think we need to go crazy with too much pressure. Although I wouldn't mind bringing some more attention to it. I just want to find a different way. All right, guys, that's all I got for this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. Again, thank you for all the support, the views, the likes. Thank you so much for all that stuff, guys. I appreciate you so much. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.